We also heard from Filippo Grandi. He asked the European Union member states to take part in resettlement of Afghans from the neighboring country, and he asked the EU member states to take 40,000 for the coming 5 years. And this was, of course, something that I hope that member states are ready to.
Let's get some further analysis on this. Chris Alexander is the former Deputy Special Representative of the UN Assistance Mission in Afghanistan. He joins us now from Canada. Chris, good to have you on the show. Are you disappointed that the European Union has sort of failed to back the call from the High Commissioner?
Yes, I think this is an opportunity for the EU to get back to its tradition of refugee resettlement. Obviously, as your correspondent was saying, that was interrupted by the politics of polarization that hit Europe after the 2015 crisis. It basically stopped refugee resettlement on a large scale to the EU, and then later with the arrival of Trump to the United States as well. And really only Canada was continuing through those years. Now there are fewer irregular arrivals in the EU, and the EU should start doing safe, permanent resettlement in response to the High Commissioner's call. It's the right thing to do, even as we try to help much larger numbers in the region, and of course people still inside Afghanistan who are facing starvation.
Okay, countries like Canada, the United Kingdom, the United States, they all have an established resettlement plan in place. I mean, doesn't it look bad for the European Union to be sort of unable to come up with something?
Well, the EU absorbed a large number of migrants, refugees, in 2015, but it did that in a very disorganized way that cost everyone, because it whipsawed politics. It made selling the humanitarian support that we should be offering to electorates much harder. Now there's a more orderly situation in Europe, but there's the humanitarian needs around the world in Africa, Asia, Latin America, and elsewhere are greater than ever. And yes, the EU has to do its part. Look at Canada. Is little Canada, with a population of 38 million, has already pledged to take 40,000 Afghans. The UK, now outside of the EU, is taking 20,000. Despite all of its domestic pressures. The U.S. is taking tens of thousands. The EU is a community of hundreds of millions of people. They should be able to take tens of thousands of Afghans who are fleeing for their lives.
Let's talk about it. I mean, obviously, the European Union has sort of learned lessons from that chaotic 2015 migration crisis. But rather than being what some members of the European Parliament are calling sort of an obsession with preventing Afghans to flee to the European Union and obsessed with sort of closing down the external borders, can't a middle ground be found here?
The middle ground should be safe, orderly, planned resettlement. That is something that many Europeans want to see. I know that firsthand from having been there recently, from following European politics. The people who want the doors to be closed to everyone forever are a minority in Europe. But this needs to be organized properly. There needs to be burden sharing. There needs to be proper support to those who come. And we can't forget the much larger numbers of Afghans who are inside the country. Simultaneously, the UN agencies, with this call, the UN agencies are pointing out that 14 million Afghans are going into the winter facing food insecurity. And why is that? Because a government that we all supported, that was meeting needs much more effectively in Afghanistan, was overthrown by military force with the support, unfortunately, of the neighboring country, Pakistan, which makes our work with them as a partner much more difficult. In my view, we should be sanctioning Pakistan, broadening humanitarian support independently of the Taliban in Afghanistan, and resettling larger numbers, as the High Commissioner is now calling for us all to do.
All right. Chris Alexander, thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate your analysis here on the NewsHour.